Today, gonna talk about today's trading and watch list, I think. So today, coming into the market was yesterday Nvidia had their earnings, and they came down on good news, which is kind of signals to me that everybody knew they were gonna have their beat their earnings, and people were I think probably selling their profits, and to me it might be the top. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But that's just my thinking from I guess some experience. But today I was looking at Nvidia uh, because of yesterday's earnings, and with it having good earnings and it being down on the day, to me that signaled being very weak. So I came into the day thinking about shorting Nvidia, which is the plan, which is what my plan was, and I eventually executed that. But and also was looking at the overall market. So the overall market, if there's like a little base here going on, like a little high tide flag kind of deal, uh, especially from the Japanese carry trade this is what caused all this, I think. And then the big bounce has gone straight up, and now it's starting to consolidate. So I've been noticing a lot of these stocks that were just pure momentum and going straight up, kind of slow down and pull back and fail a little bit. Like yesterday, I talked about Singe. Also broke down more today. I think GovX was another one, right? Um, what else? APDN. APDN also traded today. Monkeypox. TNXP, that was horrible. Singe, APDN, ALZN, and then VRX. VRX is probably one of the strongest ones there. But they're all starting to break down because of this monkeypox thing as well. But who knows? Um, so I've been noticing a lot of these strong stocks kind of breaking down. And with Nvidia having good earnings, but it being weak, and the market also kind of pulling back, kind of resting a little bit from that big run up that it did have, I was thinking about shorting it, which is what I eventually did. And here are my trades. So mind you, I really kind of butchered it again. Um, so I took two losses in the morning with ASTS and APDN, which is what really kind of made me scared about losing because I was already down. Uh, well, I only went half size on the other two, so I was already down a couple $100, and I was like, well, do I want to risk another more, couple $100? Anywho, I so I did that, and then here's the trade. Let me see. Yeah, so I did that in the morning, and it kind of was a little scary. So here, as you can tell, I got in into like the 15 minute. So once again, I drew lines, which I've been, you know, taught to do. Uh, these lines were based off. Actually, you can see this time. This support here, and then this resistance here in pre-market, and then this line was also a line drawn from other support resistance lines. And once again, it worked very, very, very well. As you can see here, it literally went to the 124 mark, which is where I was initially going to start shorting, but it came out so with so much power. Even though, even though I hoped it would do this, I got kind of like shell shocked and didn't take the trade, even though I knew this was my plan going into it. I still kind of was scared on it. Also, it lines up with this kind of support here, or resistance here. So I really fumbled this one. I could have had a great risk reward here, like fantastic risk reward. I could even size up on this, even though this was my plan. I literally, this was my idea. And then I waited for it to, in my mind, I was like, you know what? Well, let me not trust it, and then wait for it to reject. So finally rejected, and then once it kind of like broke down with some kind of a little bit of volume on a VWAP, I shorted it more. I shorted a whole position, covered some, didn't like it was reacting because it was coming back up. I thought it was going to be like another, what did I trade yesterday? I think it was ASTS. I don't know. Sorry. And then I thought it was going to be like another one of these. And then I started to see it basing here. It kind of like building like a flag type of pattern here. You can see it. Lower highs and higher lows. It was compressing. The volume was decreasing here. And I told myself, just wait for a direction where it's going to pick. It's probably going to pick a direction. Wait for it to choose the direction and go with the trend. So I waited. Even though I initially was heavy short, I said if it was going to break out here, I would buy it. And it eventually did broke down again, broke down VWAP below VWAP, and also especially this line here. Shorted it, covered some, shorted more, covered some on the wash down, the quick wash down, and then I had I think a tenth of my position still in it, and since I was down, I recovered. This is the stock that helped me recover most of my money today, even though I was down a small percentage, like tiny amount today. But I was really scared because I lost money earlier, and I was looking at this, and it helped me recover most of the money. So I had a tenth of a position on, and once again it came down. It went up to my line and perfectly failed right off of it. Now mind you, these lines are drawn in the morning, before market open, which is pretty impressive. I'm impressed with myself, but I don't even trade these. So this is what this cover you see here, and then I could have shorted it here again, but I didn't follow my rules, and then that was it. And yeah, I could have, like I said, reshorted again. Here, the reason why I covered so early was because around this area was where I shorted. My second time, I covered fully here. I was too scared again to short up here. So I wanted it to, fade. Got the shorts here, covered. And I didn't want to lose any more money because although if I would have covered everything here, I still would have been down on the day by just like a fraction of a percent. Right? I just didn't want to lose any more money. This was my last trade that I held on to. So I held it. I put it here, put a stop order here for break even, which obviously, see here, it's wasn't a good idea. One thing I've learned is just so far is to stop being afraid of losing. Stop being so afraid, and trust yourself. I don't know. I just feel like I just need to do better. But so that was Nvidia. It was Nvidia trade here, and next was ASTS. So ASTS, I was looking into this again. I was looking for a third red day. Didn't happen. Lost on this trade here. Let me just pull up the chart. Let me see. Here's the chart. Let me see. Hold on. Sorry. Cool. So here is the chart for ASTS. Whoops. ASTS. Here you can see that it's if I zoom in. So once again, these lines were drawn early in the pre-market. Although this was a much wider range. For here, I drew this line because it was kind of, in the morning, the resistance here, so, and also here, support here. So this was a pretty good line here. And my thinking was that if it rejected this line, which is the first line, and also if it broke down to red or green, it'll also be confirmation. But it opened here, bounced off red to green, which I was like, that's not really, it's not really good. If I'm looking to short this thing, I was hoping for it to fade or fall through. Came up to here, rejected it, so I started to get in, and then it, I think this candle went to the next candle or next 5 minutes, went down, and also once again rejected off the red to green line here, which showed me it was strong, and then I got out pretty quickly because I didn't like the way the action was, and so I also had another line here before, which coincides with this kind of support resistance area here. And once again, if I would have shorted here, I know this is a hindsight. In the moment when you're losing money or you're down money on the day, the last thing you want to do is take more trades. Because I don't want to feel like I'm revenge trading. I don't really like to feel that. But today I actually did it, and it was the first time it ever worked out with the Nvidia trade. But anyways, so had a line here, support resistance. It rejected it multiple times, right on here, here again, and then for the third time here, and fourth time. Actually, multiple times it rejected this area. There's a lot of heavy selling here. Also, this was on SSR, so I would have had to, get upticked into this, and could have bought it here. Look at this again. Once again, these lines they work pretty well. They support resistance lines. Although a lot of people don't really think they do. But here, look at it, bounced right off of it. I mean, just completely, like I don't know how to, they just work. And I don't really trust them, which is kind of funny. yeah, I don't really believe in myself. So that's something I really have to work on. Believe in myself and trusting myself and going with my gut. And then the last trade that I did was APDN. Oops. APDN, APDN. Here we go. APDN. So here, I was looking for a breakout on this today. The way it was looking today, I really thought it was gonna be able to break out. It opened up here. Actually, I'm sorry. It opened up here. So I really thought it had a chance of breaking out, especially with the momentum and what's going on with this sector right now, the healthcare sector, especially with the monkeypox going on. Um, Also, I think APDN. No, that was the wrong stock. I'm sorry. That was VRAX yesterday. But this is also in the same sector of VRAX, and I really thought it was going to break out today. Didn't break out. It broke out in the morning. It went up like 20, 30 cents. As you can see here, went up at 250. Okay, I only went up like 15 cents. This one I kind of, to be honest with you, I kind of like was rushing into this trade. I didn't let it work, or I didn't let it like kind of prove itself. I don't even think it broke pre-market highs. Yeah, I don't even think it did. Here's the trade. Let me see. APDN. Yeah. No, it's ASTS. Here's APDN. Nope, that's not it either. Here we go. Okay, cool. So you can see here, it's around. This is the pre-market high. It right when it broke it, bought it, but I just really was rushing into this trade. I was getting really nervous. Not nervous, but I was just, I don't know. I just really didn't want to lose money on this trade. I really sized up in this trade because I really thought it was going to break out, even though the overall market, which we saw earlier, was kind of basing, kind of red day yesterday, and also looked like gapped down. It gapped up this morning, but it also looked kind of weak today. It's just in a range, which it's not too bad of a setup for breaking out. So going back to the post here, I bought it literally right at the top, right. I was gonna break 260. Bought it while I was breaking out, and then it came all the way back down to 206. But this thing, so the way my broker is set up, I have a max amount of shares I can trade uh, per stock, which is kind of limits me for these really cheap stocks, right? $2. I can only trade so much of it where the return isn't even worth. It isn't really much worth it actually, because you know I can only trade so many shares, and I can't really size up into this thing if I really really wanted to for like a big home run trade. But other than that, this would have been a good trade if I would have shorted it. But I was looking for a long, and I didn't have any shares to short it because I think it was hard to borrow. And yeah, so oh well, at least I stuck to my rules. I got to stop here, stop of low of day, and stuck to my rules. I kept my risk in control, and that's all I could do. Keep my risk in control so I can live for another day. Yeah. So this was all three trades for today, and yeah, all the trades for today. And then here's kind of the watch list of the 1 month gainers. Lucy. Just looking for anything that's kind of strong setting up. Go back. Okay. Well. So yeah, here is just a little. So VRAX, I was looking at it today again. With yesterday being so wide and loose and so much volume traded and it being a red day, I wasn't really gonna risk today buying it again. I wasn't really comfortable with that. Also, these biotechs, it's very hard. They're really scary to trade. Um, what else? What else? Da, da, da. Yeah. The CDNA, I've been looking at this one for a while, but it looks like it's been slowly just selling off. Don't really like the price action on this. So I can tighten up the volume. I'm sorry, tighten up and builds a better bay. It bounces off this 20, but right now it doesn't look too good. It's also rare when a setup like this, with kind of downtrending like this, will break out. In my research, usually ones that are set up like this are uptrending. this way have a really good breakout. This could be a short tomorrow, maybe. But nothing. EBS. See, it has the same kind of setup, but it's rare when these kind of break out. This is not a good setup at all. Dog, dog. Sorry, I was gonna cuss. It's pretty horrible setup, but it did eventually break out. But I wasn't touching that one, not trading it. This one looks kind of nice. No, take that back. It's a horrible trader. Just up and down, up and down, up and down. Not really. I mean, it had one linear thing here, but it's been choppy all since, and not really my thing. But okay, let's get past that. Let's look at the ready to blow list. PSNL. This one I've been waiting for this one as well to kind of break out or break down, either or. It's also in that same sector, healthcare sector. So I was looking for this one. Might break down tomorrow. If the market's weak tomorrow, or the market's strong, if you look at the S&P 500, it's building like a high tide flag, but it's also very, very volatile. It's going up and down. It's not really tight. So we'll see how this one reacts for tomorrow. ASTS, I don't have any plans on it anymore. Hopefully it can make a base around here on this 20. Give it a week or two, and hopefully it'll break out again when the market can break out as well. Tree, it's just on the watch list, just watching it. WGS, it had a great setup here. Had a pretty good setup here. Tight range, low volume, and yeah, it kind of bounced off this 50, reclaimed the 10 and 20, but it did eventually fail. Sorry, failed, and now it's right in the 50 again. I think if it gets weak, the market gets weak, it can get down around 20%. Or if the market's strong, it can break out. What's that? Who knows? TSLT, this is just a leverage of Tesla. MSTR, I've been watching this one since around a couple here. Didn't like the way it broke out. It was wide and loose. CDNA, whatever went to that. RNA, I've been watching this one for a week or two now. Really, really low volume. Don't really like the way it's trading right now. I have these two lines so I can catch it if it breaks out or on the breakdown. Also, biotech had a really good year so far, but we'll see how this one keeps reacting. Carvana, I watched it for this breakout here. I missed it, but it was only like a 10% breakout, so that's too crazy. LTH, I was looking at it down here for a breakout. I missed it. It was pretty low volume. It was pretty choppy throughout the day. Some ticks on the day didn't even trade. Some minutes. MIRM, same thing here. Didn't catch the breakout, but also another one that was really low volume. Not trading very well. LUMN, maybe looking for a continuation on the downside. If it's gonna break out, it's gonna have to build another base here and break out then, but doesn't look too well. Looking for maybe a short here on this one tomorrow or next week. Kava came down to the 10. Looking for a base build here. See if it breaks out or... Oh yeah, that's about it, but there's nothing really... It's gotten really big now. When I was first watching it down here, it was like, 4 or 5 billion, maybe less. But now it's over 10 billion. And these stocks get really slow, and they don't really create that great of breakouts. APDN, we went with that earlier, and then CING. Also missed this. I also missed this yesterday. I missed it today. Wasn't paying attention to it at all. But yeah, so that's everything so far today. What have I learned so far? Probably just trust myself. Trust myself and and believing in myself. That what I'm doing and how I'm trading is gonna work, and that it does work. These lines or these spots that I'm picking, and being on the right side of the market is you trusting myself in that aspect. I think it's gonna really help me. So yeah, that's it for today.